my turn, on God, held steady. I keep dropping back to back, I keep going if you let me. I've been sitting at the top, looking down at those who left me. Promise I'm not being petty, I'm the one they envy. Brody moving state to state, make $1 million out to send me. Plus I grinded from the start, I was stacking pennies. I might dip like Machiavelli, after the confetti. Who ready? We ready? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Feel like Kobe, I'm like Jokic with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me, I don't care if you pushing 40. You can never little bro me. Euro step like Ginobili, from young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats, circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's a reach. We ready? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? We ready, been ready, I waited, my turn, on God, held steady. I keep dropping back to back, I keep going if you let me. I've been sitting at the top, looking down at those who left me. Promise I'm not being petty, I'm the one they envy. Brody moving state to state, make $1 million out to send me. Plus I grinded from the start, I was stacking pennies. I might dip like Machiavelli, after the confetti. Who ready? We ready? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Feel like Kobe, I'm like Jokic with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me, I don't care if you pushing 40. You can never little bro me. Euro step like Ginobili, from young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats, circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's a reach. We ready? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? We ready, been ready, I waited, my turn, on God, held steady. I keep dropping back to back, I keep going if you let me. I've been sitting at the top, looking down at those who left me. Promise I'm not being petty, I'm the one they envy. Brody moving state to state, make $1 million out to send me. Plus I grinded from the start, I was stacking pennies. I might dip like Machiavelli, after the confetti. Who ready? We ready? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who, 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 who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Motivation to youth only. Mentally feel like Kobe. I'm like Jokic with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me. I don't care if you pushing 40. You can never little bro me. You're on step like Ginobili. From young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats. Circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's the reach. We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? We ready. Been ready. I waited. My turn. On God. Hell steady. I keep dropping back to back. I keep going if you let me. I've been sitting at the top, looking down at those who left me. Promise I'm not being petty. I'm the one they envy. Brody moving state to state. Make $1 million out the semi. Plus I grind it from the start. I was stacking pennies. I might dip like Machiavelli. After the confetti. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who? Who ready? Who? We ready.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Miss Margaret Live in the Morning. Let me know if you can hear me down to in the chat, y'all. The technical difficulties are technicaling this morning, okay? I can't say I had everything set up, all the pictures, everything was right. And then when I went to actually go on here, you know, it's always something when they're trying to slow an OG down, okay? But of course, I had to get on here today because we have a ton of stuff to talk about. Now, y'all know, I know I told you that I was going to be off all of January. I said I'm not going to do any reporting. I'm not going to do none of that. I'm going to take January off to just, to just kind of focus and regroup and get all this type of stuff together for the big stuff that I've come in February. But the earth signs were earthing, and it's Capricorn season. I should find some claps to add in. Okay, it's Capricorn season, so I feel like that's why all this happened. That's where all this stuff has happened, okay? And as you see, we got Margaret, Katt Margaret up here, Margaret Williams. I ain't figuring out what I call that image, okay? If you know, you know. And so, this week, Katt Williams has been all in the news. If you see me, I'm looking down because I'm still trying to get stuff up here ready on the screen and stuff for you guys. It's like I told you. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I know I'm on here just a tad bit late, but that's okay because whenever I get here is when I'm on time. Okay, but before we go ahead and get started, we got to go ahead and check into what our weather is looking like out this weekend. Okay, now I was gonna have a little slide thing so y'all can see exactly what I'm looking at, but like I said, I was not about to keep taking more time trying to get stuff that really don't matter that much up here on the screen. And drop down in the chat where you're chiming in from. Let me know that you are tuning in. I'm not looking at the screen, of course, right now. But for those who engage and participate in the conversation, I may have a Starbucks gift card for you at the end. So keep watching throughout the show. I know a lot of y'all came here because you were like, I gotta hear what Margaret has to say about everything with Katt Williams. We're gonna get to that in a minute. We're gonna save that for later on in the conversation because here's the thing. Katt Williams is an earth sign. And one thing about us earth signs, baby, we take a lot of stuff. Okay, we take a lot of stuff, but at some point we get tired of the BS. And we were tired, and especially when it comes to stuff where it's like our creativity and the things that we really spend time on mentally okay, and we be real cool. That's why y'all be killing me. Y'all be talking about Capricorns. No, we be real cool and we be letting y'all slide, and then when, then we attacked because we got done with now y'all so mean, y'all so okay, but it was cool. So when you can do it, we can't. I can't. We just do it realer than y'all. I had a situation earlier this week where I had to call a friend out. Like, you be saying crazy stuff to me all the time. Okay, like it's just cool, and I be cool or whatever. But when I say now, it's a problem. Okay, so anyway, I was just kind of ranting there a little bit. Let's go get on into the conversation. So if you are, like I said, the technical difficulties are technically this morning. So we trying to I was trying to pull up something for y'all. Maybe I'll be able to do it now. But basically, if you are in the Twin Cities weather, I have a quick weather report for you. I mean, not much to really mention besides it's cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's gonna be cold. I know people were like, "Yeah, I'm so happy to be here in what they call them, California or whatever." I knew that wasn't gonna last. I knew that wasn't gonna last. I'm like, y'all, I don't know why y'all getting excited. Okay, this is one global warming and then also a fluke. So but the forecast over the weekends, that's what we focus on. Okay, we talking about weekend stuff. Okay. It's gonna be 34 degrees today. That's the high for the day, is 34 degrees, 26 for the low. It's gonna be pretty much cloudy and expected to snow Monday, about a 40% chance of snow on Monday, 32 degrees. So, we in the 20s, the 30s, all that type of stuff. But the main thing is that it's Capricorn season. Okay, you know what? And what's in my good? Let me see, because I might, where did my good guy? Where was it? I was watching something earlier. I was dying. Like, speaking of Steve Harvey, a video that I saw, I'm assuming he's a Yeah, he's a Capricorn. Okay. Shout out to notable Capricorns. We don't claim we claim Jesus as far as the December Cap. That's pretty much it. Oh, here is what I was going to show y'all. But anyway, and so I'm going to find this video at some point, like here, and he's talking about Capricorns, because it is our season. We are the only ones that end the year and start the year. Okay, y'all can hate if you want to. It's just facts. At the end of the day, we got Jesus. I mean, who tops that? If you go through your notable Capricorn, who gonna top that? Nobody. Okay, so at some point when I find this, here it is. Here it is. Let me show. Hold on. Y'all might be able to see. Hold on. Because I don't know. I want to make sure y'all hear it. Hold on. Because I want to make sure y'all hear this clearly for the haters in the back. I done seen some of y'all try to skip to Aquarius. Aquarius are just leftover Capricorns. I feel like God just didn't know what to do with. Oh, I said it. Okay. Let's because I got a message. Okay, this is gonna be our little message for the day. Instead of doing a word for the day like I usually would do, I got something for y'all. Okay. No, I didn't say this. Steve Harvey did. All right. I didn't say this.
Capricorns is one of the most powerful signs in the zodiac. Christ's birthday is on December 25th. That makes him a Capricorn. Now, I don't know who you got, but we got Jesus.
I don't know who you got. Well, we got the one and only. Okay. I'm just saying. Okay. And so for those who are juice tuning in, just tuning in, I swear that is just a coffee cooler in my cup, because y'all might be like, with the way she just said juice, I don't know what that was. But if you are just tuning in, we just kicking off and starting the show. I was just talking about how I've been having technical difficulties or whatever, but you know what? We're going to push through. Okay. Because Miss Margaret Live is always going to find a way. So even if it's not the way I want it to be, it's going to be a way that makes sense. So if you are curious about what the weather is looking like at all, which you're in Minnesota, so this time you're not much to look forward to. And make sure you let me know if you can hear me. And if you can hear me, period. Because sometimes it'd be hard to tell on here. But like I said, taking a look, this is just the Minneapolis forecast. Okay. Actually, pretty small here. But like I said, we got to work with what we got today. Anyway, you can, it's not what you want to see up close anyway. But so we're in the 30s now. We're getting into real winter today. We have a high of 34 degrees. A high of 34 degrees. Okay, that's what we got going on. Okay, and as you see, it's pretty much just going to be cloudy. When I used to do the weather on Jazz 88 morning show, I would just be like, y'all already know what it is. Like, y'all don't need to, y'all don't need me to go through this. It's just going to be cold and cloudy. Just cold and cloudy. Okay, so that's what you can expect. for the weekend. Let's go ahead and get into some of the headlines and stuff, because I know y'all didn't come here really for the weather. Y'all didn't really come here for the traffic, although we could get into that as well. Y'all came here to get the tea, okay? And wait, look, where's my little cat? Where's Margaret? Where's Cat? Where's Margaret Cat? Hold on. I had bring Margaret Williams here, okay, because we got to spill the tea. Y'all know I initially, when the interview and everything with Katt Williams came out, I did not have an interest in watching it at all. I did not have an interest in watching it, mainly because I just was like, oh, I think this is just to like the really like comedic community. And so I didn't think, I was like, I'm probably not gonna watch it. But then I caught a clip of him talking about people stealing material and all that type of stuff. I was like, oh, okay, no. I definitely got to tune in. I'm just checking to make sure y'all can hear me. And see, this is why I be saying sometimes StreamYard don't show the comments. Shout out to Savant Seymour. I see you up in here talking about the Capricorn love. Shout out to y'all. Thank you all for tuning in and watching this show. Okay, we have a lot of stuff to talk about before we go into some of the more salacious or whatever headlines here. There's been so much that's been going on this week. But we got to start locally, okay? Because there's been a lot of stuff going on locally too. I know we are coming up on the new legislative season, which is going to start next month in February, legislative session, I should say. And a lot of people probably do not realize that this I want to bring this up because I had gotten to this conversation with people when I thought some of the responses were ridiculous. But a lot of people probably do not realize that it was just last year that legislation was passed to make schools required to provide menstrual products. Now, I know some of you guys are probably like, what? Because you just assume, like most people, that would be something that would always be provided in the schools the same way as toilet paper, right? But no, it's not. And I wanted to read this, to report on this, basically because of the fact that I think a lot of people really didn't know that. And I heard some ridiculous rebuttal of someone trying to tell me why they stopped providing that, if they ever provided it that way at all. But last year, I actually was in the different testimonies and sessions regarding this. And these articles really do not mention enough these three young ladies. They couldn't have been, I think they were still in high school, who were really the ones who pushed this bill and legislation from the beginning. Usually it starts with someone like you and I, and you got to connect with the rep to sponsor, author the bill. And that's how you move it forward. So just this past week, Minnesota schools are now required to provide access to free menstrual products to students in grades 4 through 12. It's one of several new laws now in effect in the new year. It's been a long time coming. This is Erica Solomon Collins, who's the executive director of the National Council of Jewish Women in Minnesota, who's quoted here in this article, as you can see from CBS. But the main thing that I wanted to drop down to is it also it speaks on the high school student from Hopkins. Name is Elif Ozturk. Now, if you're watching, my bad if I said your name wrong. You might, and I wonder if this is one of the students who I met who actually pushed this. But they are quoted here. Let me turn this thing on music down, chat. They are quoted here saying it's most exciting to be able to say to these young people that we're taking time out of their busy schedules to go and do something that for a 12, 13, 14-year-old is scary, which is to sit in front of a table of senators and talk about getting your period. To sort of be able to show them that this was all worth it. This is now the end result of that, and it's exciting for me. Prior to this, when I was sitting in the session last year and listening to all the testimony and stuff, I didn't know that was something that was not already required in the schools. I just thought, like I'm sure most of us, that something like menstrual products, which should obviously be a necessity, would be something that schools provide. But what I just learned in these sessions was that a lot of times it was the nurses, teachers who were coming out of pocket to be able to put these menstrual products and stuff in the school, which is just absolutely ridiculous. We talk all the time already about how everybody in the school is underpaid. It's just period, just all underpaid, and are already spending so much. So the fact that it took legislation that I know started in like 2019, 2020, I believe when it was first introduced, the fact that it took I guess I should look here. The fact that it took legislation, that it took years and years to get something like that passed, is just absolutely ridiculous. So shout out to the young ladies who I know were behind that. I believe they're high school students, and I don't see all of them mentioned here. It was like 3 young ladies who were really behind that and working with FICE to get that passed. So shout out to them. Okay, let's get on here to some other news, because like I said, I know y'all want to get to Katt Williams, what I have to say about all that. You know, let me bring my little, I should bring my little buddy. Can I bring my little buddy back? I don't think it lets me bring, yeah, I was going to try to bring my little Margaret Katt back. Katt Margaret back. So as y'all saw a lot, y'all saw me post this on my page as one of my headlines from the week. And this was something that I really need y'all to pay attention to, especially whether you have kids or not, but especially if you have kids, in the St. Paul public school system. You need to know what's going on. So as you see here, this is bill protecting students from harmful restraints will be first on the chopping block this legislative session. So I'm gonna go on, I'll read this, but then I want to give y'all some context, okay? And it's someone who's got the firsthand privilege of being on the front lines of all this type of stuff. I want to give y'all the real, okay? Because we knew this was going to happen, but anyway, okay. So, you know what? So this is according to NPR, and it says that the 2024 Minnesota legislative session is just weeks away. Therefore, this is, oh wait, that was me who wrote that. I wrote that part. Okay. In October, if y'all remember, in October, we gathered at the Capitol. We did a rally, a press conference. Shout out to my job at Allies, and shout out to Solutions Not Suspensions, which is a coalition who really backs and pushes a lot of this legislation. And so we did a press conference because basically Republicans were saying that this law that prevents really anyone really in the school system who's working with children, but particularly prevents like SROs and people in law enforcement roles within the school from being able to use certain restraints. You know, you can't put no knee on no dang on back, neck, as you shouldn't be anyway. And certain other restraints, unless it is really, really necessary. Now, putting a knee on a back, I know people might be like, well, when is that necessary? We're going to get into why there's been so much talk about all this. So earlier this week, Governor Tim Walz had done an interview with NPR, and he said that one of the first changes to come forward from his administration this year will be a tweak to the state's law limiting use of force in schools. Now, here's the thing. Walz, and I was going to say this towards the end, but Walz, I gotta be raw. Walz really pissing me off with certain things because, you know, he'll stand 10 toes down when it comes to universal meals and keeping the budget for that, which he should. When it comes to a lot of these other things and it comes to safety, he likes to ride a fine line. You just can't be riding no lines with safety. So it says that, he said that we've still got a few schools that are, you know, I think have legitimate concerns from their perspective legally, but we want to make sure we're giving them the tools they need to keep our kids safe. Here's the thing. Now, notice that he doesn't really list what these concerns are and stuff like that. And the whole thing is that there's these multiple statutes, right? There's like 626 point whatever, 696.6 or 66 whatever, But the one that we are focused on, the one that we want, is the 128.1, which is the one that actually really protects students from these harmful restraints, these harmful holds. Y'all have seen so many times of videos of SROs and other people who work in law enforcement, whatever the case may be, in these schools, you know, throwing kids around, slamming to the floor, doing all types of unnecessary BS for the most minor offenses. And a lot of them really aren't offenses. So the whole reason why, and actually, I can actually pull up the law here. You know what? Let me pull this up so y'all can really for real see what I'm talking about. And so what this particular law does is so it protects against those type of things. So last year was when this legislation passed, and then kind of all of a sudden this past fall was when there was all of this hoopla about SROs and which are student resource officers, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, and saying that they basically couldn't do their jobs correctly, as if they were doing their jobs correctly all the time in the first place, without being able to use these certain restraints. So what I'm talking about here is you see it says 121A.58. So this is the language of the legislation that was introduced and that we want to keep. This legislation protects students from being put in, like I said, be like, a dang chokehold, being straddled, the things that unalive George Floyd, if we just want to keep it real. This protects all of that. So this is what we're looking at here. As I said, this is 121A.58. Now we can skip over here to what they really want, which is this one. Let me find it. 609.66. And there's another one, or 609.06. There's another one that's like 6 something. Anyway, these are the ones that really create circumstances where those holds can be used, and it doesn't have to be a situation where it's like, okay, we didn't have to get in and get real physical, unless it's a fight or things, but you're like, that matters. Now, what a lot of Republicans are doing and trying to confuse people is that they are trying to say like, oh, this is confusing because you have the 121A.58, then there's a 609.6, and then they're saying that these laws are confusing as far as basically when you can and cannot use these restraints, blah blah blah. Now, Attorney General Keith Ellison has said several times, ain't nothing confusing about it. It's nothing confusing about it. Like, it's nothing confusing. Don't put a kid in a chokehold. Don't straddle them. Don't throw them across the dang on room if they simply aren't doing something that the teacher don't want them to do. Don't, unless they are a real harm and danger to themselves, or they are a real harm or danger to somebody else. Don't do that dumb shit. Y'all remember what happened at Central High School not too long ago? When the video went viral and the SRO attacked that student who had been invited up to the school by a teacher. Y'all remember that? And the SRO went crazy, threw him to the ground, did all the stupid stuff. That's what this other law, the 121A.58, that's what this law protects. And so that your students don't have to go through that. So what I was saying, Governor Tim Walz, is he's saying that this particular language is going to be one of the first things that his administration addresses. Like I said, y'all saw put on the chopping block, which is really disturbing. We just got this into law, and y'all are already trying to repeal, take away things that protect Black and brown students already. I mean, I know a lot of y'all are not surprised, okay, because like that's what they do, but I'm just saying it's just crazy. And so, like I said, the legislative session starts next month. And so it's going to be really important to watch what's going on. It's going to be really important to reach out to your local representatives. It's going to be really important to just make sure that that they don't go back on something that we barely had in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on as far as in our local news. And then there's other things that are going on too. Like I mentioned, in universal meals, we passed that last year, but that's already got people trying to reverse that, talk about, basically we didn't have enough money to feed kids. Governor Tim Walz basically was like, y'all capping, we got the money. But, at the end of the day, one of the reasons why we can't just, right now we have a trifecta, right? We have a Democratic House, Senate, governor. Okay. But that might not be the case. You know what I'm saying? Just a couple years from now. So we got to make sure that we really get the things done that we can get done. And this is one of them, because I'm sure nobody here who's watching wants to see, hear, experience anything with, students being manhandled in school, by the people who are supposed to be protecting them. Now, okay, we got a lot more stuff to talk about. We got to go ahead and get into some of our national, Yeah, this has been kind of national. Usually I start with national. I start with local because it was just so many things that we got to talk about. And then, of course, we're going to get into some other things. So we're going to take a quick break so I can get all these things together, and we will be right back.
Feel like Kobe, I'm like Jokic with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me, I don't care if you pushing 40. You can never little bro me. You're on step like Ginobili, from young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats. Circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's a reach. We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? Who? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Been ready. I waited. My turn. On God. Hell steady. I keep dropping back to back. I keep going if you let me. I've been sitting at the top, looking down at those who left me. Promise I'm not being petty. I'm the one they envy. Brody moving state to state. Make $1 million out the semi. Plus I grind it from the start. I was stacking pennies. I might dip like Machiavelli. After the confetti. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? Who? We ready. Who?
All right, we are back. As you can see, I'm making it work. I told y'all in the beginning, there was some stuff going on, but that's okay. He made it work. Welcome to Miss Margaret Live in the morning. A special show. I told you I was supposed to be taking the whole month of January off. Okay, I was supposed to be taking the whole month of January off, but there was so much going on this week. And the Katt Williams thing, I ain't gonna lie, it didn't trigger me. Y'all know me times I've had people in the state of Minnesota, people who would be like, oh, why don't you work with this person? Why don't you work with this? Because they be stealing. They be stealing. Don't give credit where it's due. I have so many times. So I definitely had to come on and talk about that. But first, let's go ahead and get into what you see right here. Harvard University's first Black president, or was their first Black president, resigned early this week. Now, I had seen stuff over weeks and some time of people talking about the controversy and that there was calls for the president to step down. And as soon as I saw that the president was a Black woman, I was like, well, of course. So on this past Tuesday, Dr. Claudine Gay resigned as president from Harvard University. Now, she also is a faculty member at Harvard. So it's interesting because even though she's stepping down, from what I understand, she is still going to be teaching. She's still going to be faculty. So CNN actually did a very good recap from as to where things started and how we got to this point. They did a very good job recapping and talking about basically what you will see is that due to claims of plagiarism that were really stirred up and posted in this website called the Free Beacon, which I guess was like a very conservative and stuff website, and we're really leading the charge on all this. But they're because due to claims of plagiarism that they were asking for Dr. Gay to step down. But tons of people who have been following this, journalists, and as I'm about to read, Dr. Claudine Gay herself will say that this is much, much, much bigger than this, and actually a campaign that's been going on for quite some time to get rid of diversity and inclusion hires. That's their words, not mine. So as I was saying, there's always claims that came about that Dr. Gay had plagiarized her work or had not given substantial credit to where she had received her work from. But then what really was, this is what CNN broke down, was this really all kind of came about some months ago due to comments that the former president had made regarding the war in Israel and condemning Hamas and stuff like that. Y'all know I stay real clear from that because I ain't got time for y'all to cancel me. So what she said was, she said, on Tuesday, I made the wrenching but necessary. This is was written in the New York Post by Dr. Claudine Gay herself. I want to say the day after she resigned. And it says, Claudine, it says, what just happened at Harvard is bigger than me. So she goes on to say that on Tuesday, I made the wrenching but necessary decision to resign as Harvard's president. For weeks, both I and the institution to which I've devoted my professional life have been under attack. My character intelligence have been impunged. My commitment to fighting anti-Semitism has been questioned. My inbox has been flooded with invective, including death threats. I've been called the N-word more times than I care to count. Well, I definitely don't doubt that. Y'all be waiting to call us N-word for any old thing. One thing I wanted to skip to, though, is that where she says, as I depart, I must offer a few words of warning. The campaign against me was about more than one university and one leader. This was merely a single skirmish in a broader war to unravel public faith and pillars of American society. Campaigns of this kind often start with attacks on education expertise, because these are the tools that best equip communities to see through propaganda. But such campaigns don't end there. Trusted institutions of all types, from public health agencies to news organizations, will continue to fall victim to coordinated attempts to undermine their legitimacy and ruin their leaders' credibility. For the opportunists driving cynicism about our institutions, no single victory or toppled leader exhausts their zeal. Now, y'all want to guess the race of the interim president who's taking her place? Y'all want to guess the race? I had the picture I was going to put up, but I won't give it any light. But it's we could guess the race, okay? And it's probably going to stay that way. But as the thing about it is, while I could see, it's Harvard plagiarism, we all know that had she looked more like my palm, she wouldn't be stepping down, or it would be even probably more of a support or even divide as to whether she should step down or not. But this is something that they have been pushing for the agenda. One of the things that I like that she said in this too, because she talks about just how in these instances, a lot of times the first thing that they try to attack, or the expertise or education. And there's so many times, especially as Black women, when we sit in spaces, people who we know aren't as educated and we know aren't as qualified, and they don't ever get stuff questioned, but we be the first ones to get questioned on our resume if we really know what we're doing. And so this was definitely something that was fear-provoked, right? Fear-provoked of, oh my God, a Black, not only is she a Black, but she's a woman and president over Harvard, where many people think of Harvard, they mainly think of white men. Okay, let's just keep it real. You already knew that wasn't going. I knew that wasn't going to work. So it's really, it's too bad. But as I saw, that I thought was interesting was that, she said that as she returns to teaching. So I was like, oh, okay. So she's still going to be working there, I guess. But so yeah, that was really interesting. Just something that I also saw someone saying that it's been several, and I think Black women who have become presidents of different universities that have resigned for various reasons. So I don't know, some people may follow up on, but anyway, I wanted to get into this. This is more of just a think piece. And then we're going to get into, as I know y'all came here to hear me talk about Katt. I don't even know if we're going to be able to get to T.S. Madison and Bossie Badass, but I be calling him Bossie dumb. But, for some of y'all, he your hero. I don't know why. Okay, so as you see here in the quotes, says Black people don't have any money. If you are watching the show, make sure that you chime in the comments. The more you engage and chime in, that's the further the show reaches. So make sure if you're watching, just say, hey, say where you're tuning in from, how you know me. And sometimes I don't always see, like there were comments that were written I could see like on my Facebook page on the stream, but it didn't pop up here in the stream. So just make sure you're engaging and commenting as much as you can to boost this live, especially since we kind of got a little late start this morning. So as you see here, this was actually a part of a series that Black Men Build did, and it was with Professor Dr. Jared Ball, who is the author of The Myth and Propaganda of Black Buying Power. So he said in this interview that while he supports Black-owned businesses, doing so will not solve the problem of equality and poverty and wealth. And this says, and then he kind of uses example. Here's a quote. He says, Black businesses target Black, well, not example. This is further stating what you see on the screen. Black businesses target Black people. Black people don't have any money. Let me, did I put my alleged badge? Because I read that like it was a fact. So let me do my alleged badge here. Looks like we might be having some, actually, no, we're not going to worry about that. We had a technical issue. Okay, never mind, we back. So he goes on to say that Black people, that from 1992 to 2012, Black people created 2 million plus businesses. The capture of the sales revenue went down from a paltry 1% to like 0.3%. The point is that Black people can't create businesses in sectors of the economy that generate real wealth. Now, of course, there were people who were divided. Let me know what you think. I had people who were like, that's not true. Black people had money and blah, blah, blah. I had another comment. Someone said, it's very true that Black capitalism cannot save us. I support Black businesses, not because it's a solution, but because it's harm reduction from this broken economy. The true solution will always be both redistribution and reparations. Now, I do agree with that. I think what people, it's interesting because when he says Black people don't have any money, people are like, but then a lot of times as Black folks, we talk, of course, all the time about not having or having less than. And I think that's really what he was saying is that collectively, we know that there are other races, white folks, who have a lot of generational wealth. And Black businesses a lot of times tend to not be able to have access to certain, like he said, sectors where that wealth and stuff is already around and already built in. So I really didn't find anything wrong with what he said. I think the thing that he really said too is just basically like that. In certain ways, that's not going to solve the issue. But I do agree with what commenter, who's actually a friend of the show, shout out to Wantana Milliken, who said, reparations and redistribution of wealth will get us there, but simply, I hate to say this, but supporting Black business is not the end result. It's definitely something that we should do and continue to do. But let me know in the chat what you thought, because there were mixed responses, and so I just thought that it was definitely worth noting and talking about. Once again, he is the author, Dr. Jared Ball. He is the author of The Myth and Propaganda of Black Buying Power. And on the Black Men Build like Instagram page and stuff like that, you will see there's different. He said a lot more other stuff. So this is a very small part here of what he said, but wanted to see what your thoughts are on that. Okay, y'all, we gotta get to this because we gotta get to Katt before I wrap up. I got like 10 minutes. Okay. Thank y'all for tuning in. Remember, I know I told y'all I was not even going to go live today. I had no intentions on going live, but was just so much. And then when Katt Williams did this thing, I said, it's time to blast the people who need to get to be blasted. As earth signs, we can have this thing where we just be like, the universe is just going to work things out for us. So if we don't really like to blast unless it's really, really necessary. But y'all been doing this for a long time. And And so, we just gotta talk about it. So anyway, let's get to this real quick. Now, as y'all heard, if you know me, you've been on any of my pages, I'm not a Boosie fan. I'm not a he'd be Boosie badass. I think he's Boosie. I do not think that he gives anything that's necessary for the culture. I think all he gives is misogyny and homophobia. He don't even give quality music like that. But anyway, so I ain't been a fan of Boosie's since before he was locked up. Now that I think about it, before since shortly after INDEP when he was spelling stuff all the time. But per usual, here he is back in the headlines with some BS. But this time, our good girl T.S. Madison had to get him all the way together and made several valid points. And actually, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up is really isn't even about Boosie. It was actually about something that somebody else said. And I was like, we really, as Black people, got to really talk about what really does and what really does not bring us down as a people. And I can say 100% that homosexuality is definitely not one of those things that sets us back or brings us down. It's an excuse to not address what really does bring us down and set us back. So as you can see here, it says that. Now see, look at this looking stupid because I got my little I told you, just bear with me, y'all. But it says T.S. Madison drags Boosie for walking out of the Color Purple movie. You sat there with your daughter, Mr. Enslaved Celie. So those of y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, it's interesting that as I'm talking about this now, the views is starting to go up. Boosie, dumbass, had posted talking about I had to walk out this Color Purple movie, and about two older couples walked out also. We don't care. First of all, you don't even know why they walked out, because I had my little girls with me, and it seemed like he puts a rainbow. I don't. Oh yeah, y'all can't see. I'll put the image up. Seemed like a rainbow love story. Good acting, but whoever wrote the script is pushing the narrative hard. As a parent, I will not let my little girl watch this film. Now, Boosie, he really thought he was doing something. This is why I love moments. I love when people think they're doing something and then they get ate. Because what ended up happening was he got called out for being ignorant. Straight up, whoever wrote the script. Okay, he thought it was going to be one of his time. People say, yeah, Boosie, you right. And people are like, you sound dumb as hell. First of all, Color Purple is not a kid's movie. So why are you taking your children, okay, to the Color Purple is beyond me. And it's definitely, like I said, it's not for kids. It's not for young girls. There was a ton of us adults who didn't want to see it because of how traumatic and stuff this is. So why, I was gonna say something, y'all, but I'm trying not to. I just feel like he just always look ashy to me. Like it don't matter what. I don't know. You can't be talking all that stuff and not believe in lotion. But anyway, and people ate him up because, like I said, right, first of all, this ain't no kids movies. Why are you taking them to? I'm surprised he even was taking them to anything that would seem like something that could be uplifting to Black women. Or it's probably taking them because it starts off horrific for Black women. But then he goes on to say who wrote the script. First of all, this is a whole book written years ago. Okay, ain't unscripted. Anybody who knows anything knows that the whole thing with Celie and Suge and all that is not new. It is not new. That was in the original movie. It was kind of one of those things that I don't know, some people try to maybe deny or whatever, but we all saw the movie. I was looking up who wrote it. I can't remember. Alice Walker. Everybody know this ain't new. You saw it in the first movie. So what are you talking about? And furthermore, I had to take a breath because he done pissed me off. But furthermore, talking about their I can't stand when people talk about when people put things that have to, people put gay people, gay couples, gay parents and stuff and say pushing an agenda. How am I pushing an agenda? I'm depicting real life. Y'all sitting here acting like the only time y'all see people or something who who are gay, lesbian, or in the movies, and they trying to push that. That's real life. What are you talking about? So I'm gonna get to also why I want to talk about this. But of course, T.S. Madison. If you don't know who T.S. Madison is, look T.S. Madison up. I'm gonna let y'all know right now too. I don't tolerate any forms of homophobia or nothing like that on this channel. So if that's what you want to be about, you need to get them on. Okay. So T.S. Madison ate him all the way up. Okay. And actually, let me see here if I can get this video on the screen here of T.S. Madison. Let me see here. Let me see. And the clip from her own, Instagram page where she was talking about, because I took a little video of it so that y'all could see. Here it is. Y'all can really get into this with me. So this is the original post that T. Madison had made, okay? And as you can see, it's her and my fave funky Dineva. And anyway, this is from her Instagram. You see me scrolling through it, so y'all can kind of see. And she, like I said, she reads them for Phil. She said, "So you mean to tell me that you were okay sitting there with your daughter?" Remember, he's talking about, I took my kids on. The problem that he sees the most is the scene with, Celie and Shug and everything, and having their moments stuff. So T.S. Madison put it perfectly. She says, "So Lil Bossie, you sat there with your daughter while Celie daddy took her second child that he fathered and gave it to the pastor and his wife. You sat there with your daughter while Mr. came and bought, okay, sex trafficking, bought her from ex trafficking. I'm sorry, I'm on YouTube, which I'm trying to get from her daddy at 14. You sat there with your daughter while Mr. enslaved Celie to cook and clean his nasty house with his children. You sat there with your daughter and watched Mr. beat, sexually destroy, and drag Celie all over the floor. You sat there with your daughter and watched Mr. bring his side chick into the house with Celie. But you got up and leave when you saw Celie finally find love and compassion and some sort of temporary relief from Mr. Prison." I'm so tired of y'all trying to hide your homophobia behind what's right, what you think is right for Black community, because I guarantee you that's not on. I could think of so many other things that, you know what I mean, are actually really hurting the community, and none of them rhyme with the word homosexuality. And then, of course, when a hit dog hollers, Bossie responds, and then the crazy part to me was trying to claim that he was being bullied for his stance. Let me read this to y'all. So he says, this is all coming from the Neighborhood Talk, by the way. He says, "Why, if someone doesn't agree with the narrative that's being pushed, why do y'all say that the person who doesn't agree?" Wait, hold on. What it'd be hard, people like him, because you'd be like, what? Okay, why, if someone doesn't agree with he puts rainbows instead of saying the word gay narrative that's being pushed, why do y'all say that the person who doesn't agree is gay? That's bullying. We have a right as parents to say it's not cool for a 7 and 9-year-old to watch this. We have rights as parents to protect our children as much as we can. I have no problem at all with, he puts rainbow again, people. I'm gonna stop right there. It's crazy to me to hear any bully try to call out bullying, because you are one of the biggest bullies of the culture. Anytime anything that has to do with anything that could possibly look positive, and then it has to do with people living their lives, particularly people who are gay, lesbian, transgender, here you come. Every time, here you come. And this is why he's saying, people, why when someone says something, y'all say, well, you must be, because people at this point, you do it so much, they think you're projecting. And so every time, like I said, every time D-Wade posts his child, what's the child's name? I'm blanking on the child's name, but every time he posts his child, here come Bossie. Bossie always got something to say. And the reason why I had to talk about this, and the reason why it really pissed me off, is because not too long ago, I saw someone on my Facebook, and they were just randomly talking, and they were like, black men, like, we really gotta talk, man. We really gotta do better. And I don't think if they gonna start talking about stuff when it comes like the black family, you know what I mean, protecting black women, lifting up each other, and they start talking about, because I saw some stuff the other day, and they really trying to push this gay agenda. Now, the crazy part to me is that this particular individual has lost people, okay, from gun violence, and this is what you think is the biggest issue. I mean, I would think what I just mentioned right there would be on the list, but that's what you're trying to say on some Bossie stuff, that homosexuality, that's what's bringing down the community. I would say thoughts like that of if people focusing on stuff like that ain't causing no harm to nobody, and not focusing on what we need to be focusing on, which is the real issues of the community. So T.S. Madison and Bossie went back and forth on this. Okay. They went on to say, because T.S. gonna get him. So T.S. He wrote to her and said, "You seem offended because the truth hurts. The movie had great acting, but it's just not appropriate for my little girls to watch." Again, it's not, and I hate people trying to make this about kids. It's not a kid movie. But this is the same man, though, who didn't he hire prostitutes? Didn't he hire prostitutes? Didn't he hire prostitutes for his like 14-year-old son or some crazy stuff? And you want to talk about what's appropriate for kids? Y'all really gotta stop hiding behind your hate. Trying to act like it's about something else, okay? And so y'all can, it's all of the neighborhood talk. And then he tries to say it's not just me, transsexual Maddie, that feels this way, shaking my head. Go read the comments across social media. And the thing about it is that, yeah, we know that, but what we're saying is those people are also misguided and ignorant. I can't even read. I really can't. I don't read Bossie stuff, and it's hard for me to read this out loud because it just don't even feel right coming out of my mouth. But just to wrap this up with T.S. Madison, of course, comes back to him and is like, I'm not anyway angered at you. There's no accountability ever taken for any of the contributions you add to the demise of our community. Our communities and the black folks. You have folks agreeing with you because they are just as misguided as you are. Oh, so basically said the same thing. Okay, TS. Okay, and so right. Listen, like I said, I ain't no Bossie fan. I just, but this is worth talking about because I'm like, in 2024, can we get out of that? This is why when people be like, we can't get nowhere. This is a part of it. People focusing on stuff that don't need to be focused on. And to wrap it up, T.S. Madison said that, basically what people call the gay agenda is people simply living their lives safely, gay or trans people in TV or media. They say the gay agenda is respecting people's pronouns, non-discriminatory healthcare, and non-discriminatory housing. And then she goes on to say what the straight agenda is. No, she says, no gays or trans allowed unless they do hair and makeup, write songs, carry our bags, stay in the shadows, accept all the pedophilia, straight grooming, extortion, ways, dope dealing. There's a whole bunch of things that she goes on to say here. Okay, some stuff, like I said, you hear me kind of because I can't really say it, but it was a read. And T.S., she's right. She's so right. And Bossie, you thought you did something that you didn't do nothing. I don't even know why we include him in the dang on chat anymore. Okay. We have so many more things to talk about. Okay, but we've been talking now for a little less, okay, or a little about an hour. And I know y'all really came here because I said I was going to Katt Williams with some people today, and we're about to get on it. We are about to we're about to get on it. You see, I brought Katt with me. Wait a minute. Okay, you see, I got Katt, Katt Sullivan. Okay, got him with me. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break. I gotta take a sip before I do this, cause y'all. Here's the thing. Y'all know I've always been one who has been known to call things out, right? I've always been one who has been known to not shy away from saying, here's the BS and all whatever is going on. Here's who's doing wrong, But you know, a lot of times, and I feel as earth signs, we believe like, you know, the universe is going to take care of stuff. So what's the point? I'm not going to win nothing by blasting. But there are days when we wake up and choose violence, and that's what happened. Okay. So I probably say, why is she doing? Okay. No, it's not. That had nothing to do with like the that white girl, like Lil Wayne used to always say, no, I don't know what's going on in my nose. Okay. It's crazy because people are probably like, what? In 2023, unfortunately, you got to clarify stuff like that. Unfortunately, in 2023, you got to be like, listen, now I know y'all might be thinking this and that. I promise you it's that. Now, I have wanted to play this video of these majorettes going in to Beyonce's My House, but I don't want to get dinged or nothing like that. So we won't do that. But yeah, so we'll be right back. And then of course we gotta get into what everyone's been talking about. We have to get into what everyone's been talking about, which is Mr. Katt Williams, okay, and his dang on interview that he did. What is it, Club? Is it Club Shay Shay or just Club Shays? I feel like I'm adding stuff. I'm gonna play you my favorite part of it, and then we're gonna talk about why. And then it's time for me to say what I gotta say. And somebody, you know what? I'm not gonna say some names, but some people you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I saw that's what that was. I remember I saw that's what, because I'm thinking of 3 specific times. Okay, because there was yep. Okay, I had to make sure I had my people. 3 and people, and unfortunately, people within the community. And you know, and I don't do nothing to nobody. So you know, when you don't do nothing, people it really bothers you because you be like, why would you do me like that? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get to it. So let me get what I gotta get together, and then we will be right back. All right, y'all. We are back. Okay, and I know it's taking me a while to get. Like I said, I was not gonna lie today. I was like, I'm taking the whole month off. I'm probably gonna do this show again tomorrow morning, actually. But I was like, you know what? We can't pass this up. We can't pass this up. Okay. You know why? Because this is why. This is why. All right, y'all. If you are just tuning in, drop down in the comments. I don't know if y'all, like I told y'all, for some reason, I'm unable to see your comments. I'm like, are we sure the retrograde is over? Because I've been having some real retrograde stuff happening. Hey, Michael Palmer, thank you so much for tuning in. This is crazy. Anyway, so thank y'all. Keep commenting. Keep everything. I don't know why I can't see the stuff today. That's okay. Your comments and your engagement helps push the show to other platforms and stuff. So I appreciate it. Anyway, okay. Y'all didn't come here to do all that. Y'all came here for this. Okay, and yeah, y'all came here for this. Let me go ahead and turn my music down. Okay, because we already know Katt Williams. Okay, shout out to Katt Williams, the earth sign that he is. Okay, we know he's been all over, all in the headlines. Okay. He has been everywhere. And because he done blasted him. He did what he had to do. He was like, he sat down. Shannon was like, how you doing? Calvin's like, listen, I'm sick of all the BS. Okay. And he let it rip. And so I don't even need to do no type of recap or nothing like that. As I had said earlier, I didn't even plan to watch the interview at all. I did not plan to watch the interview. So I was like, oh, this is more like some comedy stuff. I'm not really in the comedy realm like that. So I didn't think maybe I'd be able to relate until okay, y'all got your tea, y'all got your, let me know in the comments if you got your drinks, you got whatever it is that you need to drink before I say what I gotta say. But until he started talking about people stealing content. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, I could definitely relate to this. And I actually saw, shout out to comedian Ashley Henderson, who was also talking about on her show. And I had seen recently make posts about people stealing jokes, stealing content and stuff like that. When you're in a creator space and stuff like that, your creative, what's the word I want to look for? What you put out there. It's like Erykah Badu said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my, you know what I'm saying? I spend a lot of time coming up with different show topics, ideas, different ways to do this whole thing. It takes a lot of time to reach out to people and to schedule things. Like, I take so much brain power putting all this type of stuff together. So I understand how it is when you look up and you're like, what the? Now, I know I did that. Matter of fact, I told you about it. And now you, okay. And see, I've been cool. I've been real cool over the years. You know what I'm saying? I've been real cool. Y'all know it's been a minute since I blasted someone. Don't act like you ain't seen the growth. Because last year, I didn't give a, okay? And this year, I ain't did a lot of my blasts and stuff. I ain't said a lot of stuff that I could say. I just said it to my friends and stuff. And even then, it's a lot of people whose names I ain't even said, because I'm like, nah, because you're blinded by the facade. So I'm not gonna waste my time telling you how they really are. I'm gonna just let them show you themselves. So as I mentioned, Katt Williams, he done let it rip. This interview is over 2 hours. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. We can't do that anyway on Facebook. We're just gonna play this a little bit because, like I said, on Facebook they will ding your ass if you try to play too much. This is my favorite part of the interview. And then we're gonna get into what I'm gonna get into next. Okay, you'll probably hear me stop this a couple times. Like I said on YouTube, you can't just play it straight through. We gotta like take little pauses and stuff like that. Okay, but we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna be laughing. Ooh, okay, so here we go.
When we released that clip and he said that, you responded because he said he was supposed to play Money Mike and you were supposed to play.
Okay, so what he's talking about, and like I said, I gotta stop it because what he's talking about is Ricky Smiley, and Ricky Smiley saying that in Friday After Next that he was supposed to be playing Money Mike and not Katt Williams. Now, if you know Friday After Next, Katt Williams plays a pimp, a hilarious pimp. I actually was like, I need to watch that today. Oh God, that sounds probably bad, huh? Hilarious pimp. But anyway, and allegedly Ricky Smiley, Ricky Smiley's comedian, he's had the Ricky Smiley radio show for 10,000 years. Said, I guess, in a former interview with Club Shay, that he was supposed to be Ricky Smiley. Okay, so that Ricky Smiley was supposed to play Katt Williams' part. That's what they're talking about.
Play Santa Claus.
An outright lie. So that he knows is a lie.
So why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie.
Thank you. You know what? I get so sick of people saying stupid stuff like that. I hate people be like, well, why would they lie? There's plenty of reasons why people lie. People lie all the time, every day. You know what I'm saying? I could lie to y'all right now and say that I have this full outfit on, knowing damn well I got these little raggedy ass sweatpants. I don't need the lies with the top. You guys think I'm fully dressed. People lie all the time. I hate people be like, we could get confronted on a lie and be like, why would I lie about that? There's a lot of reasons why you could lie. And people who aren't liars, I can't explain that. Ask them why they lied. Okay, anyway.
And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? He said it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry.
Okay, I'm going to pause. I think we're getting to the part. I actually might have to I got to pause. Okay. Let's keep going.
Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want.
Here we go. I didn't want it. Okay,
want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none.
Oh my, it be the okay, whatever he said that takes me out every time. Katt didn't have to do Steve like that, but y'all, that interview is so hilarious and it's so much he said is so true. So true. It's so true. But particularly one thing he said too about is that, you know, like in Hollywood and comedy, there's definitely like a clique. There's definitely like a kind of like a popular kind of clique or whatever. And I feel like there's the same thing like that here in Minnesota. And in the journalism world, I kind of feel like it's the same way. I've always said that too, especially being a black woman in journalism in Minnesota. If you look over time, there's always only room for one. There's always only room for one. And people are like, what do you mean? I mean, if you look at, because y'all see I stop because I'm like, but what I'm saying is people tend to only make room for, okay, so y'all see I'm stuttering. But for example, Adrienne, was it Spro? I'm going to pronounce her name wrong. Nothing negative about her. But at the time when she was here in Minnesota, she was like the one. She was everywhere. She was the go-to person. That was the one, right? Then when and before that, I'm trying to think as far as black. There's plenty of people. This is just one. Then after that, with somebody else. I'm not going to say the name because it's right now in real time. But now, they're like the go-to person. If you think, okay, you know, they're the one who, if you think black women journalism, that's when the first name is going to pop up. And now it's like they're that one. That's who everyone is zoned in on. And then when they move on to whatever else, people will zone on that person. You know what I mean? It's not like Minnesota makes a lot of room for black folks, black women in the first place. And so I think that's a part of it. But so I've always felt that way though. Always felt that way about Minnesota. It's like you can't have too many black women doing this. You know what I mean? We're gonna take that one and we're gonna run with it. Because if we got two, we can't do that. And whereas in other spaces, it might be like, or other states particularly, like, oh, there's a lane for this. Lane for that. We have several people, you know, on the same lane, all getting the same support. It's not like that here in Minnesota. It's a very crabs in a bucket mentality. I think that's a lot of reasons why sometimes a lot of this stuff happens in the world that I don't speak of. I'm not even talking about the comedy world, because I feel like people are already competing for the same funds. Dang, they're competing for the same audience, the same this, the same that. And so it can get very like, and I'm trying to get here and I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't leave a lot of times a lot of room for collaboration because you're already fighting for the barely crumbs, you know, that are there. And so I've had so many times of people take my content, take my ideas, so many times. And there are people who I know who are watching and been like, yeah, I done got them calls. I done got whatever. But most of the time y'all don't see me talk about it, you know, on a platform and stuff like that, because I have to be like, okay, if it's somebody who is like the people's favorite or something like that, then I can't go, that's going to look bad on me, even if it's the truth, even if it's the truth. And that's what I felt like Katt Williams was saying, you know, he knows Cedric, Steve Harvey, all these people who kind of fit into this lane where it's like you're doing just, you know, they only go so far basically with their comedy before it's, you know, too edgy. It's too, there's no way to kind of cross over. And I feel like with, like, you have a Katt Williams who he's edgy as hell. He's not going to change. He's not going to be cookie cutter. And I think that's what he was saying with some of these other people, where it's like, but they're willing to do that. So now they're, you know, put in these spaces or whatever because they're willing to conform. People like me and Katt, we ain't willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? We're just not willing to do that. It just to be considered mainstream. Let's get into the real tea. That was a whole rant or whatever. But like I just went, I might know, y'all. I promise when I do the show tomorrow, I ain't been doing all this, okay? But let's get into the real, because like I said, I knew I had to talk about this because this happens all of the time. I have had this happen all the time to me, and this is why I don't announce stuff anymore. I don't, like this other day, I even said I was nervous about even putting out that I needed a photographer, videographer for a certain date, because I was like, next thing you know, someone's gonna do some other date just because I'm doing it. But it's such a common thing of people taking content stuff. I remember I saw an article of someone recently was a rolling out, and I'm looking at them and it's an article about them, and I'm thinking a part of how they got here was off of Black women's ideas and stuff, because I remember Margaret, you said you was gonna go there, so I guess you're just gonna have to go there. I remember when a few years ago, when I had said that I wanted to do a public speaking workshop, and I was looking for, I don't remember what the deal was. Someone, I don't know, to help collab. I can't remember what the deal was. And someone was like, oh, you should have my cousin on your show, because blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, okay. I looked them up. I was like, okay, they seem like, you know, that they do this work too or whatever. And so I'll have their little ass on the show. So I brought them on the show. Great conversation. I don't remember what we were talking about, but after that point, I was like, yeah, I'm doing this public speaking workshop. I had certain things that were going to be a part of the workshop that really like made it stand out and stuff like that. I ended up having to postpone. Not say I wasn't even going to do it anymore. Postpone the workshop. And they hit me up and they were like, oh, why are you postponing? And I was like, well, because I really want to get like childcare and Y'all, you know, they turned around, like literally went right on Facebook. What do y'all think about if I do a public speaking workshop? Oh, and I'll have childcare included. And not even like, oh, you've invited me along, or you. And the childcare part was something that, of course, I had just said to them. It wasn't a part of the other thing. But I mean, as if they came up with this whole thing on their own. I could not. And this is someone who I had on my show. I had them on my show. Okay, so they could come and talk about what they had going on. And that's how you do me? And then when I made a status about it, they try to get an attitude. Like, how are you going to get mad when you know that you did dirt? Like, how are you going to get mad? And then they went on to do it, the workshop. And like I said, the certain ways that I had it set up and stuff like that, things that we had just talked about. I could not believe it, and never once said, gave any credit, asked to collab, nothing. They just took the whole thing as if they had come up with all of this on their own, and the details that I had mapped out, they took it. And it's just crazy how often people do that, particularly, not just gonna say it, men will sit there and really profit, or off of and take credit from a Black woman, and not give the credit. I know another time, another one of y'all's faves, I'll never forget, I asked them to help me. This was after George Floyd was unalive, and if you're not here in the state of Minnesota, then you don't know what it was really like here. It was just insane. I came, and talking about it would trigger me. But basically, we had become our own. That's how a lot of people became reporters and got into media, because we had to be able to report about the real stuff that was going on. So I was up until like the wee hours of the night, every night. This Lent, y'all, this don't bother me. Reporting and reporting about other things that were coming in police scanner, because we had so much stuff of all these different sightings of the KKK. There was just so much going on. So one night my friend couldn't help me, and I had asked a new podcaster, Jones, whatever you want to call him, to assess. People like, oh, why don't you have PK? We'll just call them that. PK help you, and da 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 da. So I was like, fine. Going against, all right, now this is on me. This is a little shame on me type of situation, because I already knew there was reasons why I didn't reach out to them before. But I'm like, hey, can you help? Da, 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 da. This is one thing with Earth signs and Capricorns. Like, we be on some, we want to always like bring people along to win with us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, cool, you could do this. Y'all probably thinking, don't share your platform with nobody no more. It's the second time, the second story now. And come, so anyway, there's, the time comes of reporting like 10 at night, whatever it is. And this goes on for a long time. Instead of doing what I asked them to do, I can't remember what I exactly asked them to do as far as helping me, but they were doing everything else under the sun, flirting with me. And I got to the point where I felt like they were trying to pump me for information. Like, how did you get in touch with the governor? How do you have this person on your show? How do you have this person on your show? And if it wasn't for the fact that I thought like it was coming from like a genuine place or something like that, I probably would have maybe been a little bit more forthcoming. But something told me pause, because then they go on to say, oh yeah, I've been watching you for a while. The reason why I have live behind my name now, yes, because of your show. I've definitely stolen, literally. Actually, I should pull the receipts. Because I still have the message, because I had to send it to someone. And I was like, you see, because they kept being like, why don't you work with this person? And da, 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 da. And I was like, no, because they be stealing. So I'm gonna see if I can pull them, if I can pull the messages. But they literally use the word stole. I've stolen a lot of your topics, and a lot of the guests that you had on the show. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. They were saying it one, like as if I guess they thought it was flattery. I don't know what they thought, but I couldn't believe it. I'm going back at these. My head's down because I'm scrolling, because I'm trying to find these receipts. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how they were just saying, "Oh yeah," like and obviously, and it's kind of thing that I understand with Katt Williams too, where it's like, when it's stuff like that, I can't not put my stuff out there. I can't not. You know what I'm saying? Like, not put my content out there just because I'm like, oh, someone might steal it. You know what I'm saying? But, but at the same time with this situation, it's not even like I always say, everybody copies. I always say everybody copies everybody. I say this a lot. And I say it because, I use this example all the time. There's a million shows like The View. There's The View, there's The Chew, there's The Talk. You know what I mean? There's The Call. No, I was playing. But I'm sorry, I'm out of my nose. It's such probably a distraction right now. I'm just, I found it. Well, this is funny because I used to, let me find it. But anyway, I can't remember what I was even saying. But the point is, I couldn't believe that. Oh yeah, sorry y'all. I won't even find the messages. I just keep seeing I'm trying to find it. I sent it to my friend. Everybody copies off everybody. So I'm not the first show to have a live in the title, Miss Margaret Live. I'm not the first such and such in the morning. But there's a difference between that and being inspired and being like, I sit on your page and I just watch and wait for what you do. And then I go and I take not just the concept, I copy some of your questions. I go after the same guests, like, and especially when it's someone who you've let in, like you brought on to help them. No. And then the last time this happened, and the reason why, like I said, I was like, I don't put nothing really out. Like I have something coming up that maybe only like 5 people know about, and they're the people who are involved in it, like friends, family don't even really know about it. It's because the last time this happened to me, this was like recent. And I was having a whole conversation with this person, and I was telling them how I wanted to own a certain entity, own a certain media entity. Now, y'all see I have my content studio, right? I have that now, but I was going to do something else. If you know what I do, you could probably figure it out. And I had a conversation with someone, and I was telling them not only that I wanted to do it, I was telling them exactly where I wanted, like the location I wanted to have it at, all these things. And they, gave me all these reasons as to why I shouldn't do it and why I shouldn't move forward. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I guess that would be like heavy lift. Why months later, I'm talking to somebody else in the same industry. And I'm like, oh yeah, what's going on with, this space over there? Cause I'm still interested in, attaining it. And they come back talking about, oh, I heard such and such is doing such and such with it. The same such and such who I had the conversation with months ago and was telling me all the reasons why I shouldn't do it, didn't state not in time they were interested in doing the same thing, never stated. And if I said the name, y'all wouldn't believe it. Y'all wouldn't believe it. Y'all would not believe it, which is why I've chosen to just be like, you know what? I got you. God got it. God got you. Okay. Because God don't play. But for me, that was it. That was the last straw. Because now you playing with my money. This is something that, I'm saying, is a business. It's already one thing to take content because obviously that is lucrative as well. You know what I'm saying? But this was like a for real dream. And like I said, I didn't even think there was something they really even cared about. I feel like they just did it just because I said that I was going to do it. So like, oh, let's rush to do it. So after that was when I stopped telling a lot of people a lot of stuff, ideas, all stuff, because especially Minnesota, like I said, it's crabs in a bucket. And unfortunately, you really can't trust nobody. I know those people might be listening and might get offended that I said that, but it's just the truth. Unfortunately, you really can't trust a lot of people up here. And, and that's just what it is. So when, like I said, I can relate so much to what Katt Williams is talking about. But in the day, what I want to say though, too, that I had to realize is that, no one can do you better than you. You know what I'm saying? No one can do you better than you. So regardless, there's going to be something that's going to come out soon that I know about. Y'all don't know about. And I guarantee you, I would not be surprised if it looked similar to this. I will not. And make sure y'all remember I said this when it comes out. Y'all remember I said this when it comes out. Because you're going to be like, oh, damn, she's right. It looks exactly like what she got going on. Probably would not have if I hadn't done it. But now it does, because now there's, trying to be like me. But you can't. Be me. Okay? So just stop. You can't be, y'all, you acting like an Aquarius. You acting like an Aquarius. Y'all be trying to be like Capricorns because y'all the leftovers. And you can't be us. You just can't be us. So anyway, I had actually some other things that we could get into, but I think I'm going to save that for when I go live with y'all again tomorrow. Like I said, I was not going to go live at all this month. I was not going to go live all this month, but I do want to talk about our girl, Garcelle, who had to get this white woman all the way together on her show. And I'm so glad that Garcelle, I'm talking about Fancy from Jamie Foxx. Y'all know she's on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's been having to get these white women, yeah, but you know, sometimes the internet be weird when you say words like that, together. Because Black women, we are not educating white folks anymore. We are not. There's too much material out there. There's too many things. It's not our job to teach you how to not be like Karen. And so she had to call out. She's had to call out her cast members, and there's been a lot of talk about that on the internet. So anyway, we'll get back to that tomorrow. Thank you all so much for tuning in on this last minute live episode. I'll probably be back tomorrow morning to chat with you all again. I'm trying to decide, like, okay, Margaret, now that you've been live, are you gonna go live again another Friday, another whatever this month? I don't know, because like I said I wasn't gonna do that, but yet here I am. All right, so tune in next time, y'all. I'm gonna get this nose together. I know y'all like, is she sniffles or broke her nose one more dang on time? I know, I'm thinking the same thing, just annoying the hell out of me. All right, y'all, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.